From the floor of the CME Group, this is Danny Riley on this Monday, September 27th. We're in slow-mo here. What happened Sunday night was the S&P opened up around the 1143 even level, shot up immediately up to the 49.5, 49.75 level, and then this morning when we got up, the S&P was 50 cents lower and then about $1.50 higher. Now really what's going on here is there's nothing going on. The markets are really in narrow ranges here and the volumes are very light. When we came in before the open, there was only 222,000 minis traded, and we have a total of 700,000 traded. That's only 500,000 traded in the day session. So that's extremely low. In the big contract, in the first hour or so, we only had about 1,000 traded, and now we've got about 2.5 thousand, about 2,500 traded. Now, you know what? We're just here for a couple seconds. We're going to let Tim step in and do the technical side, but we just want to point out one thing. Look we started calling those lows, and now we're up 120 handles off those lows at the 1150 level. And for anybody that was bearish out there, we still think that there are some shorts out there that are holding out. But really what we're hearing and seeing from the phones right now is what's going on is there's a lot of catch-up going on right now. That there's some of these funds that have been sitting on their hands not buying stock over the last couple of weeks because when the Dow, Russell, NASDAQ, and S&P were down 3-4% on the year, now that they're back up 3-4-5% on the year, everybody's in this mode to start buying stock. Now, as we go into the end of the quarter, we want to point out one thing, and I told this to Tim. We want to remind everybody about the walk-away trade. And the walk-away trade is what occurs on the last day of the quarter, which is this Thursday, where we don't know exactly what's going to go on here for the rest of the day or into the next couple of days. But it's a trade that we look at. The Pitbull taught us that by 11:30, 12 o'clock on the last day of the quarter, usually the portfolio managers have used up all their buying power, leaving the S&P susceptible to a sell-off.
Top-notch trading here. I'm just going to come back and recap a little bit because if you remember about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was bearish as hell, and I fought Danny and I came up here and we were going at it. But I also recommended that there was this ascending right triangle, and if they got above that big level in the September contract at 26.5 to 27.5, that was a bullish flavor and that we would ignite a rally higher, and that's when I had to give in to Danny. But also, what I do is top-notch trading. I let the charts do the talking, and the charts were right again. So I can't fight them. But anyway, since the December contract came, I want to just recap of what happened. When we extended that higher above the ascending right triangle, we made a high up to 43.70 that day. And then this is what happened. They settled at 34.70. The next day they settled at 29.80. But this is the key. The breakout was 22.90. And then on Friday or Thursday, what did we do? We settled at 20.40, below 22.90. But the trigger that an extension was coming up on Friday higher was the lowest volume settle price of that move above the ascending right triangle, which was a positive. It was a low volume settled. So what happens is that 18.20 was all about. The 18 low initial trade took us up to 32. We went back down to 17 even. We settled at 20.40. Then the overnight trade on Globus was 18.5, which confirmed that a new high was coming. And what happens? The high on Thursday at 32 was the low on Friday. And then we went all the way up to 44.5. And now on Globex, they're up to 49.75, and I'm looking for 48.10 on the regular session. We're not going to see that today. I'm not sure if we're going to see that before the end of the quarter, and that's what Danny says. And believe me, it's the end of the quarter, end of the month. It's huge right now. So on a note, today, what does S&P do? Open at 43, even to 44 on their highs, and at 9 o'clock, Top Notch gets a signal that says that you can short this SPU at 43.20 as long as it doesn't get above there by 10 o'clock. Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, 43.30 was the high tick. They didn't take out the opening range, and guess what though? Top Notch's signal says we should see new lows. We've been down to a low of 38.5. Top Notch believes we're going to continue to drift lower. We're in an inside trading range from Friday's trade of 44.5 high to 32 even. And Top Notch believes we need to get below 35.30 to see new lows below 32. But looking to recommend to cover 35.30 and maybe see a bounce there. Nothing's going on. It's quiet. I can't long this future today. I can't long these futures because the bonds are screaming. The bonds are up $1.06 or $1.08 or whatever. But Top Notch is looking for 133.08 to 133.10 to stop the move. And if they can come back, retrace and get back below 132.30, we should see the SPOO, NASDAQ, and the other futures kind of firm up. Nothing here. We'll see you tomorrow, taking it one day at a time.